Assalamu alaikum. This is not my protest outfit. I just came from a wedding, but I wanted to make sure to be here. So I wanted to contextualize what is taking place today in Palestine with reference to Frantz Fanon, the wretched of the earth. And for everyone in here, you should go home after this and Google Frantz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth book and examine that chapter on violence. In that chapter, Fanon speaks about the borders between the colonized and the colonizer. The border of the colonized and the colonizer is made out of steel, concrete, violence, and the land of the colonizer is full with greenery, nice streets, paved ways, swimming pools, and everything that anyone desires. While the land of the colonized, or we could say the land of the dark or light, but I don't like that analogy. It is a place where the individuals there are hungry. There is no food. The streets are not paved. You actually are born anywhere. You walk anywhere. You die anywhere, and no one remember your name, who you are, and where you're buried. That specific borders today is the border in Gaza. And you could see, for those who watch the videos, between the life and the land of the colonized Palestinians versus the land of the settler colonists, where the streets are paved, greenery, and every amenity that is there. So we need to remember that this is what we're experiencing today. So what we're experiencing today in Gaza is this border. But also Fanon speaks about when the colonized takes matter into their own hands. He says that moment a new man and woman is born. Now I would say that Palestinians have been existing and giving birth to their resistance since the time the British came and gifted Palestine to settler colonialism and Zionism. So a new day is today that is waiting us. Now some would say, how this happened? Again, these are the talking heads from CNN, because that's all what they do with the powder on their face. They can't look beyond the mirror. And if you look at all the CNN, they're standing at the border of Gaza, but they're standing at the wrong side of history to report on the wrong side of what is taking place. Anderson Cooper, there is not enough powder to actually powder your face while you're standing justify the bombing, the killing that is taking place in Gaza. What is taking place today is a transformation. It's a transformation, and it's going to be a difficult days ahead of us. For those who remember the French in Algeria, they understand in the last 3 years of the French in Algeria, they killed about 1.5 million. But for 132 years when they were in Algeria, over 8 million Algerians were killed. So much depravity that the French used to sever the heads of the Algerians and take them to keep them in France, for the audacity to keep them in the Museum of Man. Talk about the despicability of settler colonialism of the French. So it's going to be difficult days for the Palestinians. And we need to understand that they've been having difficult days day in and day out. Day in and day out. We are not a people that celebrate the suffering of any human being. But don't come to try to teach us about the suffering while you have ignored, erased, not remembered any Palestinian suffering. Where were the solidarity? Where was the question when 435 Palestinians died since the beginning of this year? 235 Palestinian children been killed. Where is your solidarity when the Aqsa Mosque is constantly being attacked? Where is your solidarity when Sheikh Jarrah is being attacked? Where is your solidarity day in and day out? And they want us to raise the flag for Ukraine. Again, Mr. Zelensky, where your solidarity with the Palestinians rather than you speak about solidarity with settler colonialism? So we need to understand what is taking place. This is the logic of settler colonialism. They're shocked because we did not expect this. I understand, because you look at yourself in the mirror and you say how beautiful and strong you are. Literally what we are saying, what we're seeing in Israel is the arrogance of power. The arrogance of power. The arrogance of power that makes the person think that those who have been under their feet will always be there. That is not the case. The only constant in history is change. The only constant in history is change. Power remains to no one. Power remains to no one. And we need to tell those individuals that call themselves what you call intellectuals. I don't know if you saw this sorry excuse of an intellectual called Jordan Peterson. Have you seen this guy? For some Muslims who were struck for a moment to think that somebody is sophisticated, right, just because they speak slow and they rode the wave of anti-blackness, everybody all of a sudden got to tune on Jordan Peterson. If you have ever actually stopped to think about what this person is, he is a person that only speaks in the voice of power. And when you are critiquing power, that's when you are a true intellectual. But if you are stepping on those that are down under, you are not a person of being public intellectual. Because people think that because you have likes and shares that you are important. Again, a cat can get more likes and shares than you, so you need to understand this. So we need to make sure that we actually take people to task. I didn't like what Cornel West put. He used the language of barbaric violence of the Palestinians. Shame on you, Cornel. Shame on you. We expected more of you at this point. We expected you to have a depth of understanding, both the legacy, the history, not only of Palestinian struggle, but the struggle of black people in this country. We needed more from you. Now for the United States, I was driving in here, and KCBS, if the reporter is here, I don't know, but if you happen to be, he actually labeled our gathering as being anti-American. Wait, he says that this gathering is anti-Israeli, anti-American. This reporter was speaking Israeli speak. He wanted to gain the sympathies of his audience in order to tell the Americans who are listening, meaning we're not American, that's a separate issue, right? To tell them to have sympathy with Israel and not sympathy with us. There's a difference. There's a difference between opposing your government versus opposing the land and the country you belong to. anti-Semitism is actually to tell your country it's wrong, and it's wrong for America to send weapons to Israel. It is wrong for America to continue to fight settler colonialism. It's wrong for America to give a cover for Israel. It's wrong for America to move its aircraft carrier nice right next to the Mediterranean. That is wrong, and we're going to say it day in and day out. Palestinians are living Western world imposition of Zionism on us. It was the Western world that commissioned the last settler colonial project in the 20th century. It was Great Britain, which we say, alhamdulillah, is no longer great. Only God is great. Right? So we need. It was Great Britain who was speaking from all sides of his mouth with the Sykes-Picot Agreement. At a time when Balfour himself was an anti-Semite, he thought about transferring Jews from Europe to Palestine. That's anti-Semitism. If you don't get it, you need to understand the project that Western Europe have adopted. And today, Netanyahu is rallying the Western world behind Israel. Germany, England, Mr. Mufti Macron, who thinks that he could tell Muslims whatever he feels, the United States, Canada. But again, we're still waiting for Europe to apologize for many things. We're still waiting for the United States government to apologize for another thing. We are standing in here on native land. We are standing here on native land. I have not seen yet an apology from the United States government for all my native brothers and sisters. We haven't seen reparation for Native Americans. We haven't seen reparation for the Native Americans that were taken to boarding schools, whether in here or in Canada. So don't come and try to give us lessons. There's an apology that has to be done for all our black brothers and sisters that were brought to this country as cargo in the hulls of ships, and they're still living in the halls of our inner city, being shot in every day, day in and day out. We need apology for that. We need apology for colonization. The constant pillaging, raping, continued taking of resources of the richest continent in the world, Africa. We need for you to apologize for that. France has the fourth largest gold reserves in the world, yet it has no gold mines. 2,447 tons of gold. Yet Africa, Mali, has over 2,000 gold mines, barely have 50 tons of gold. We need an apology of France. We need reparation from France. We need apology from Britain, which is no longer great. We need reparation from Britain. And once you begin paying and you apologize, then you could speak about the human rights. Because with the human rights, because the language of human rights was only written for Northern Europeans and white, it did not include all of us darker complexion people. And no amount of fair and lovely will make you look beautiful to those who don't consider you to be human. You need to understand this. Palestine is free. It's a state of mind, no matter what chains they have on us. Free Palestine today, free Palestine, free Palestine. Assalamu alaikum.